Arjuna submitted to Krishna that, oh Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalists who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desist due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? This is exactly our situation. Anantajit Prabhu has taken to the process of Krishna consciousness already. He has left his family members. He's in the temple trying to do devotional service. Some of them are telling him, come back, you are lost. What you are doing, this is not done. You are a disgrace. He doesn't mind them. He has left them already. Yeah? He has left his schoolmates, his business partners. He says now all what he wants is pure devotional service. Like Purushottam Yatra also. Then what he wants is pure devotional service. So he has left them. He doesn't care what it is. So, okay, they leave him. Some of them are praying that very soon he will realize his mistake and will come back. Others are saying, okay, if that is his destiny, let him go. Let's see how far he go, provided he bring money in the end. He bring big money to the country, to our village and invest. Then he's successful. No problem. Let's wait. So they are waiting. So you have taken to this course now, transcendental devotional service, no meat eating, fish or egg, no gambling, no intoxication, nothing. You deprive yourself, remove yourself from all social indulgences. And you are striving, chanting 16 and waking up 3 o'clock, attending Mangalati, Tulasi Puja, Guru Puja, Bhagavatam class, Harinam Sankirtan, all you are doing. After some time, due to some reasons, you decided to quit. That means either your mind is weak now or your determination is not strong. Things have happened and you look around, you say, oh, I can't continue like this. I can't continue like this. You know, the movement, nobody is caring for me. Anything I have problem, everybody do as if it's my problem, whereas I've given all my life. You come to this level, so your mind trick you and you decide to leave. Or Maya itself actually is the one doing the thing, because Maya sees that you are trying to run away from her. So she wants to test your determination to see whether you are serious about it. So she bringing so many kinds of allurements. Somebody come your way, say, I will give you a job. You look very intelligent. You are a Krishna boss. You are intelligent. I want to give you a job in my company. Leave that thing. The only condition is that leave what you are doing and come and join me. I will give you a good position in my company. All kinds of allurements. So then you get allured and you leave Krishna consciousness. Arjuna is asking, what happens to such a person? Because he has left, he has left behind everything. He is going towards a destination. He cannot reach the destination. So will he perish like a riven cloud that breaks away from the main cloud, but now he cannot catch up with the other cloud he was going to, and he's going to be blown away by the wind like a non-entity? So Arjuna is asking this question: what is the fate of an unsuccessful yogi? Then in 38 he said, oh, mighty armed Krishna, does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no position in any sphere? He's not in the material world anymore, and he cannot attain the spiritual world. It's like a non-entity, no base again. Material world will not accept him. Everything is pushing him out. Now the spiritual world cannot reach. So what happens to such a person? An unsuccessful yogi. What is his destination? What is his fate? Then if he went further and said, this is my doubt, oh Krishna, thinking that he has hit Krishna very strongly. He has given him a very tough question. And he's surrendering to him. Oh Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. I do not believe that nobody can destroy this doubt except Krishna, because Krishna knows past, present, and future. Is the Supreme Personality of God. Only him can clarify this doubt. So he has given it to him. But Arjuna actually surrendered. He has surrendered. So if somebody surrenders to you, you should be able to also prove that you are worthy of being surrendered to. Just like in 2:7, chapter 2:37, when Arjuna was so confused about fighting, then he gave up his Gandiva bow. And after some time, he surrendered to Krishna. Say, Kapanya doso parata swababa, preacher me twam dama samunda sheta. Say, I have completely bewildered. I don't know what to do. I'm a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Here, Arjuna is saying that now I'm confused. I've submitted all my doubts. What happens to somebody who have left material life? He have left his opportunity for going to heaven. He has left all his Kama Kanda, Dhyana Kanda, is now practicing Astanga Yoga. If he doesn't succeed, what is his fate? What is his fate? I'm surrendering to you because I know that only you can clear this doubt from me. So please do something about it. Clear my doubt. Only you can do it. So Krishna was smiling. Krishna was smiling. He said, Arjuna, you have come again. With this your surrender attitude. You are so surrendered. You are my friend. You are my brother. You are my sister's son. So you are my, close relative. So don't worry. Don't worry. Patting his brother. Say, you, don't worry. You are just from a very great lineage, from Kunti lineage. And Pata, Prita, you are my brother. So I will take care of you. You are like my son now, since you have surrendered unto you. It's the duty of the spiritual master to help his disciple. Eh? I am surrendered unto you, so I will help you. You are surrendered unto me, so I will help you. In that mood, Krishna spoke in response to Arjuna's inquiry. And in 40 now, Krishna wants to start to answer Arjuna. That was where we left off yesterday. We read the sloka, but we're about to read the purport when somehow or other we stop the class. So Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Partana Vihana Mutra Vinasastasya Vidyate Nahi Kalyana Krit Kashit Dugatim Tatagachati. The Supreme Personality of God has said, Son of Prita, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction, either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So, Krishna reassuring, purpose. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17, Sri Narada Muni instructs Vyasadeva as follows. Tyatva swadama charanabhuja hari. Bajam apako atapatet sato yadi. Yatra kwa babadram abud amusyakim. Ko vata aptoba bajatam swadama. If someone gives up all material prospects and takes complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no loss or degradation in any way. On the other hand, a non-devotee may fully engage in his occupational duties and yet not gain anything. So this verse from Bhagavatam is in support of the fact that one who does good is never overcome by evil. One who takes to devotional service and somehow or other did not complete, he has no problem. He has no problem. He has nothing to lose. And that was why yesterday we also quoted verse 240. Is it 240? Yesterday. Neha Bikramana Sosti, Pratyavayo Navidyati, Swapama Piasya Dharmasya, Trayati Mahatubayat. There is no loss or diminution. Any endeavor on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So anyone who has taken to devotional service is assured of at least taking a human birth in his next life. So do not fear. Do not fear. you have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. So this is the same thing, that if someone gives up all material prospects and takes to complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no loss or degradation in any way. Even if you quit at some point, no loss or degradation. You get your credit already registered. On the other hand, a non-devotee may fully engage in the occupational duties and yet not gain anything. That for material prospects, there are many activities, both scriptural and customary. A transcendentalist is supposed to give up all material activities for the sake of spiritual advancement in life, Krishna consciousness. That is it. We have already given up many things, even though we are not considering ourselves to be very advanced devotees. We have given up meat eating, fish or eggs. We have given up gambling. We have given up intoxication. We have given up illicit sex. We have given up our strong attachment to our families, our friends, our schoolmates, and we are now in Krishna consciousness. You see? So we give up so many things in spiritual life. But one may argue that by Krishna consciousness, one may attain the highest perfection if it is completed. But if one does not attain such a perfectional stage, then he loses both materially and spiritually. Somebody may argue like that, because materially you are not there to compete again, and spiritually you did not attain perfection also. That means you have lost on both sides. You see, that is how it appears to be. And this is the same question Arjuna is asking. Whether what happens to such a person? He has left the whole material holds and he is unable to attain the spiritual. He's in between. He's neither here nor there. So what is his gain? Will he lose everything just like that, like a riven cloud, blown away by the winds, a non-entity in the sky? This is what he's asking. And the assurance is coming from Krishna that such a person will never lose, because one who has done good is never overcome by evil. That a little endeavor on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. And Sri Nadamuni is saying also, if somebody takes to Krishna consciousness and someone that is not complete, he has nothing to lose, because whatever he has done is registered in the spiritual bank account, and it will just continue the credit from there. So it is enjoined in the scriptures that one has to suffer the reactions of not executing prescribed duties. Therefore, one who fails to discharge transcendental activities properly becomes subjected to these reactions. That the Bhagavatam assures the unsuccessful transcendentalist that there need to be no worries. Even though he may be subjected to the reactions for not perfectly executing prescribed duties, he is still not a loser, because auspicious Krishna consciousness is never forgotten. And one so engaged will continue to be so, even if he is low-born in the next life. On the other hand, one who simply follows strictly the prescribed duties need not necessarily attain auspicious results if he's lacking in Krishna consciousness. If you can do everything expertly and you are not Krishna conscious, you might not gain anything. The purport may be understood as follows. Humanity may be divided into two sections, namely the regulated and the non-regulated. Those who are engaged simply in bestial sense gratification without knowledge of their next life or spiritual salvation belong to the non-regulated sections. And those who follow the principles of prescribed duties in the scriptures are classified among the regulated sections. The non-regulated section, both civilized and non-civilized, educated and non-educated, strong and weak, are full of animal propensities. Their activities are never auspicious, because while enjoying the animal propensities of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, they perpetually remain in material existence, which is always miserable. On the other hand, those who are regulated by scriptural injunctions and who thus rise gradually to Krishna consciousness certainly progress in life. Those who are following the path of auspiciousness can be divided into three sections, namely the followers of scriptural rules and regulations who are enjoying material prosperities. These are kamis. The kamis, those who are trying to find ultimate liberation from material existence, the Gyanis. And those who are devotees in Krishna consciousness, the Bhaktas. So three categories, the Kamis, the Gyanis, and the Bhaktas. These are the people following the path of auspiciousness. Those who are following the path called auspiciousness, the path of eternal bliss or Nitya Ananda, are the Kamis, the Gyanis, and the Bhaktas. So those who are following the rules and regulations of the scriptures for material happiness may be further divided into two classes. The Kamis can be divided into two classes. Those who are fruitive workers, and those who desire the fruit for sense gratification. That means either you are a Sakama Bhakta or you are a Niskama Bhakta. The Sakama is attached to the fruit of his labor. A Niskama is not attached to the fruit of his labor. He offers the fruits to Krishna. So two of them. Then those who are after fruitive results for sense gratification may be elevated to higher standard of life. Those who are after fruitive results for sense gratification may be elevated to the higher standard of life, even to the higher planets. But still, because they are not free from material existence, they are not following the truly auspicious path. So even the Sakamis, those who are following rules and regulations like Kamakanda activities, like mostly the Indians especially, those who are following the Kamakanda activities, you do this ritual, then you get this result, you do this ritual, you get that result. If you worship a particular demigod in a particular way, you get a particular specific benediction. If you worship that one, if you want to go to heavenly planet, you worship Indra like this, like that. Those who are following those paths, seriously, they are still, their path is not considered auspicious because they cannot go beyond the heavenly planets. Therefore, auspicious paths are those paths that will lead you to liberation from material existence. Those paths that will take you to Nitya Ananda, eternal bliss. Those paths that will take you beyond birth and death. These are called auspicious paths. A Karma Yogi can attain auspicious path because if you become advanced, he can become a Bhakta. A Jnana Yogi will attain Paramatma realization, and if he further advance, he become a Bhakta. And a Bhakta is directly involved. A Krishna conscious person is directly involved in the activities of the spiritual world. So these are the auspicious parts. Anything below that, the Karma Kandis, their part is not considered auspicious because the result is temporary. Okay, this should be understood. The only auspicious activities are those which lead one to liberation. Any activity which is not aimed at ultimate self-realization or liberation from the material body, bodily concept of life, is not at all auspicious. Activity in Krishna consciousness is the only auspicious activity. And anyone who voluntarily accepts all bodily discomforts for the sake of making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness can be called a perfect transcendentalist under severe austerity. And because the Eightfold Yoga system is directed towards the ultimate realization of Krishna consciousness, such practice is also auspicious. That means Ashtanga Yoga is also called auspicious because ultimately it will bring you to Krishna consciousness. And no one who is trying his best in this matter need fear degradation. So if you are trying your best in the matter of proper Karma Yoga or action in Krishna consciousness or Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga or Bhakti Yoga, you should not fear any degradation, even if you do not attain the ultimate destination, either due to worldly mindedness or due to the trick of Maya dragging you out, capturing you back. Don't fear, because one who has done good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So this is the purport of this verse. That Kalyana Krit means one who is engaged in auspicious activities. It refers not only to the Astanga yogis, but also to anyone engaged in legitimate devotional activities. Thus, auspicious activities on the path of spiritual life are devotional activities, any activity that is a yoga, Kama yoga, Jnana yoga, Astanga yoga, activities that will link you to the Supreme. These activities are called auspicious activities. But if it is an activity that will only take you to the heavenly planet, like the Kama Kanda activities, they are not considered auspicious. They appear to be auspicious because they award material benedictions, but since they cannot take you, they cannot liberate you from material existence, ultimately, they are not auspicious. So they can raise you to the level of you coming to appreciate auspicious activities. And if you join, if you move ahead to become part of the auspicious activities, if you become a devotee, then from there you can go on. But in themselves, Kamakanda activities are considered inauspicious because they cannot take you beyond the cycle of birth and death. Okay, right? So that is it. Yeah, so Arjuna should not worry. This is what Krishna is saying. And Baladev Vidyabhushana, one of the acharyas, he explained that by using the word Tata, Tata means my friend. Krishna is telling Arjuna, my friend. Krishna is showing Arjuna special affection, addressing him as a loving father will address his son, or a spiritual master will address his intimate disciple. So that is it. Krishna is taking responsibility and is willing to give extra attention to his devotees because he's Bhakta Vatsala. So by the same token, if we are also serious in our devotional service, Krishna is always with us in the form of Bhakta Vatsala, friend of a devotee. He has special affection for his devotees. So for the sake of you, for the sake of his devotee, Krishna can do anything, can take any form, can go and he can do any wonderful thing for the sake of his devotees, for the protection of his devotees. You see, so here Krishna is showing that he's going to do something extra for Arjuna. He's calling him my friend. My friend, I am with you. Do not worry. Even if it is difficult, I will personally assist you. I will give you extra strength. Just as you are meditating on me, I'm also meditating on you. So that will pull you through. I will hatch you from that misfortune or any kind of any kind of challenge. I will hatch you. I will take you out of it by my special grace. So after allaying Arjuna's fear, driving away Arjuna, do not fear. After allaying the fears that a fallen yogi loses everything, Krishna next described the destiny of such a transcendentalist. So verse 41, 42, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. These verses will clarify the destination of an unsuccessful yogi. Do not fear. Just practice yoga. Krishna is with us. Okay? Verse 41. Prapya punya kritam lokam usitwa saswati sama susinam srimatam ge yoga brasto abhijayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Somebody should read the purport, please.
Purport. The unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. One is fallen after very little progress, and one is fallen after long practice of yoga. The yogi who falls after a short period of practice goes to the higher planets, where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back again to this planet to take birth in the family of a righteous Brahmana, Vaishnava, or of aristocratic merchants. The real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, as explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not perceive to such an extent and who fail because of material allurement are allowed, by the grace of the Lord, to make full utilization of their material propensities. And after that, they are given opportunities to live prosperous life in righteous or aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate themselves to full Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you get it? Yesterday we were giving the analogy of somebody participating in a program, and say if you do not succeed in the program, even though you don't succeed, just for the fact that you have participated, you will be given like 50 million US dollars as pocket money, and you'll be lodged in the best hotel in the country for like 50 years. You will lodge freely in the best hotel for 50 years or 30 years, then with the pocket money of $50 million. That is, you didn't succeed in the program. That will be your own reward, incentive. That will be given to you, bonus for participating in the program. So imagine those who succeeded in the program. They will attain eternal everything, eternal opulence, unlimited, amount of wealth, and they're eternally situated in transcendence. That is their reward. But if you don't succeed in going to the spiritual world at all, then you will be given 50 million US dollars as pocket money, and you will be lodged in the highest guest house in the country for 30, 40, 50 years. We say, who is that intelligent person who will now participate in such a program? So Krishna consciousness, just imagine if you do not succeed, according to the purpose. The unsuccessful yogis are divided into two classes. One is falling after a very little progress. That is a neophyte. You have not gone very far, but you fall out. Most of you have gone far to a large extent. You have taken initiation. You have gone far, though not very far, but at least you have gone farther than the one that has not taken initiation. That if you were large, and one is falling after a long practice of yoga, and the second one he has practiced for years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Then later, towards the end, he leaves devotional service. They said the first one who practiced for just a short time, maybe like 5 years or less. This is about the yogi who falls after a short period of practice. He goes to the higher planets. This is the first reward. The higher planets are just like the best guest house in the country. The highest guest house, 20 stars guest house in the country, is lodged here. So he goes to the higher planets where pious living entities are allowed to enter. Only pious living entities are allowed to enter there. So He entered the best. Only the very rich people go to those highest hotels in the country. He is lodged there for a very long time. Say, after prolonged life there, means can live for like 100,000 years there. 100,000 years in the heavenly planets. Which are the heavenly planets even? Indraloka, Amaravati. He goes there where everything is exquisitely beautiful. And everything object of sense gratification you are looking for is succulently present there. You are sent there to enjoy maximum sense gratification for 100,000 years. You practice for only a short time, like 5 years. Then say where pious living entities are allowed to enter. After prolonged life there, one is sent back again to this planet. Because after repeated sense gratification, maximum sense gratification, you become tired sometimes. Because sense gratification is on the platform of the body, not the soul proper. So the soul can never be satisfied by any amount of bodily gratification. This is the fact. So after enjoying for many, many years, taking the highest type of intoxicants in the universe, carrying the highest kind of ladies in the universe, these are heavenly ladies, their legs are not touching ground. If you want them to be tall like cocoa tree, they become tall like cocoa tree. If you want them to be short, they are all like babies. After prolonged enjoyment there, you come down, you see, to take birth in the family of righteous Brahmana, Vaisnavas, or aristocratic merchants. Your birth here will be among the highest class of people. After heavenly enjoyment, you come here. That is for somebody who practice for a short time. Then, those who practice for a long time, well, see, okay, then the real purpose of yoga practice is to achieve the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, as explained in the last verse of this chapter. But those who do not persevere to such an extent and who fail because of material allurements are allowed by the grace of the Lord to take full utilization of their material propensities. And after that, they are given opportunities to live prosperous lives in righteous aristocratic families. Those who are born in such families may take advantage of the facilities and try to elevate themselves in full Krishna consciousness. Okay, so these are the first set. This verse 41 is addressing those who live for a short time. Then the verse 42, the verse 42 we address those who practice devotional service for a long time. So 41 is answering for those who practice for a short time. You can see that their opulence is unlimited. Then they are born into righteous Brahmana families, aristocratic families, very wealthy families, where they don't know anything like suffering right from the beginning. Then in the next verse now, it says, Atava yoginam eva kuleba vatiti matam itadi dulabam loke dulabataram loke janmayat idrisam. Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world. Such a birth is rare in this world. Even the first ones, rich people usually they have their temples in their house. So when you come, you will still have opportunity. Whether you are Kshatriya or Brahmanas, they have temples in their houses. Aristocratic people, they build their temples. So you take birth among them and continue your devotional service from there. But these ones, they take birth among transcendentalists, not just rich aristocratic family. They take birth among transcendentalists, like becoming the son of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, like Srila Prabhupada himself, becoming the son of God Mohan, who is a transcendentalist. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati becoming the son of But if you know Thakur, you take birth among transcendentalists, a guru's son, so that right from the onset, your transcendental devotional activities will continue. So such birth is very, very rare. And that's why Krishna said, Baunam Janmanam Ante. Jnanavam Mam Prapadyanti Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Su Durulaba. So it's very, very rare for someone to take birth in the family of very highly learned transcendentalists. It is very, very rare. After many, many, many births and deaths of practicing Kama Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Astanga Yoga, before you can take birth in such families. So, purport, somebody should read the purport. Purport to 42.
Purport. Birth in a family of yogis or transcendentalists, those with great wisdom, is praised herein because the child born in such a family receives a spiritual impetus from the very beginning of his life. It is especially the case in the Acharya or Goswamin families. Such families are very learned and devoted by tradition and training, and thus they become spiritual masters. In India, there are many such Acharya families, but they have now degenerated due to insufficient education and training. By the grace of the Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalists generation after generation. It is certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both our spiritual master, Om Vishnu Padayaj, Sri Srimad Bhakti Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self had the opportunity to take birth in such families by the grace of the Lord. And both of us were trained in the devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by the order of the transcendental system. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So that is La Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada himself. By the arrangement of Krishna, the transcendental order. The transcendental order is Krishna, and coming down from Krishna, the Paramparam system. By the arrangement of the Paramparam system coming down from Krishna himself. Himself and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they met. And that means Srila Prabhupada is an example of this second class, those who practice for a very long time before living, or before living their bodies. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also. So they have opportunity to do devotional service right from day one, right from the womb. They have opportunity to do devotional service. And this kind of birth is very, 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 very rare. This is it. This is what is being said. And that is it. So if this is the case for those who practice for a short time and long time and did not complete, then what is what will be the position of one who is able to complete? He will just go back to the spiritual world straight and go and stay with Krishna eternally. You see, unimaginable results. So do not fear, O Arjuna. I am with you. Because you have done good, you will never be overcome by evil in any way. So do not fear. So Krishna is reassuring Arjuna. This is 42. Yes, Krishna is reassuring Arjuna. And there it is said that this is a far better and rare birth in comparison to the first one. It occurs because of the deep mental impressions or samskaras developed by serious yoga practice. Srila Prabhupada's humility of Srila Prabhupada humbly and sweetly reveals his own situation in the purport. No, by the grace of the Lord, there are still families that foster transcendentalist generation after generation. It is certainly very fortunate to take birth in such families. Fortunately, both our spiritual masters, Om Vishnu Sri Bhakti Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, and our humble self, that is referring to Srila Prabhupada himself, had the opportunity to take birth in such families by the grace of the Lord. And both of us were trained in the devotional service of the Lord from the very beginning of our lives. Later on, we met by the order of the transcendental system. So now, what happens next if somebody takes birth in such families? That means he's trying to establish more. Krishna wants to explain more about why this kind of birth is the most rare and the most fortunate birth. That is verse 43. Tatratam buddhisam yogam labate purvadehikam yatate cha tato bhuya samsidau kurunandana. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. O son of Kuru. Read the purport.
Purport. Ken Bharata, who took his third birth in the family of a good Brahmana, is an example of good birth for the revival of previous transcendental consciousness. Ken Bharata was the emperor of the world, and since his time, this planet has been known among the demigods as Bharata Vasa. Formerly, it was known as Lavrikta Vasa. The emperor, at an early age, retired for spiritual perfection, but failed to achieve success. In his next life, he took birth in a family of a good Brahmana and was known as Jada Bharata because he always remained secluded and did not talk to anyone. And later on, he was discovered as the greatest transcendentalist by King Rahu Ghana. From his life, it is understood that transcendental endeavors or the practice of yoga never go in vain. By the grace of the Lord, the transcendentalists get repeated opportunities for complete perfection in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So a typical example of this again is the case of Chada Bharata. Maharaj Bharat was a very great king and he renounced the kingdom. And he went into the forest to practice meditation, to perfect his life and go back. But he got attracted by a deer. And from there, he took the body of a deer. Then he associated with transcendentalists and immediately regained his human form. But this time he became so careful that he has to he practiced like as if it's a deaf and dumb, so that he doesn't associate with the worldly minded people, and he attained perfection. So this is a typical example given there of the advantages of taking birth in the transcendentalist family. First example is Jada Bharat in this particular verse. Then verse 44. You all know the case of Jada Bharat, isn't it? Verse 44. Puvabhya senate naiva riyatehi abasupisa jigyasu api yogasya sabda brahmaiti vartate. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Someone should read the purpose. Purport. Advanced yogis are not very much attracted to the rituals or the scriptures, but they automatically become attracted to the yoga principles, which can elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness, the highest yoga perfection. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 333:7, such disregard to Vedic rituals by the advanced transcendentalists is explained as follows. Aho bata swa pachoato gariya yajiva grevatote namatubhyam te pustapaste juvuchasnuariyan brahmana uchu namagrinanti yete. Oh my Lord, persons who chant the holy name of your lordships are far, far advanced in spiritual life, even if born in the families of dog eaters. Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all sacred places, and finished all scriptural studies. So you can see that this is very, very important, because for those who become attracted to become devotees, it's not just a today practice, especially those who become devotees, who saw this transcendental process, become attracted. They are not interested in Ashtanga yoga or Jnana yoga, but they are just spontaneously attracted to Krishna consciousness. They are special. They are special people. And that means in their previous lives, many lives, they must have performed all the Kamakanda activities, performed all kinds of sacrifices, that they are past that stage. They are past that stage in previous life. In this life, they are not interested in all those things, but they are just spontaneously attracted to the practice of Krishna consciousness. So devotees are such persons. Many and most of the devotees are such persons. They just continue from where they stop. So people are wondering, how did this person become? It's because they have done all those things in many, many lifetimes in their previous lives. In this life, they are just here to continue with the transcendental process. As soon as the process appears, they become attracted. They plug into it, and they are there. They doing Krishna consciousness. They become devotees. They forget everything. They continue. So devotees should not underrate themselves. Devotees are very, very special. And that is the famous example of this was presented by Lord Chaitanya, who accepted Thakura Haridas as one of his most important disciples. Haridas Thakura was not even born into Vaishnava families. He was a Muslim. He was born into the family of Muslims. Yet, Lord Chaitanya knew that he has performed all those rituals and jagya in many, many, many lifetimes. Actually, Haridas Thakur is Lord Brahma. So he just connected, he got attracted and he became the Nama Acharya. Okay? Although Thakura Haridas happened to take birth in the Muslim family, he was elevated to the post of Nama Acharya by Lord Chaitanya due to his rigidly attended principle of chanting 300,000 holy names of the Lord daily. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And because he chanted the holy name of the Lord constantly, it is understood that in his previous life, he must have passed through all the ritualistic methods of the Vedas, known as Sabda Brahmana. Unless, therefore, one is purified, one cannot take to the principle of Krishna consciousness or become engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So this is the situation. Many devotees you see are like this. In their previous lives, they have done all kinds of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. So in this lifetime, they are not just interested. Only the transcendental process of Krishna consciousness get them attracted. It doesn't matter where you take your birth. Whether you take your birth in Africa, whether you take your birth in Australia, whether you take your birth in India, it doesn't matter where you take your birth. As soon as you hear the holy name, you become attracted. because you have done all the other sacrificial activities in your previous lives. See, so the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a movement for those people, kind of people, those who have practiced many, many lifetimes. In this lifetime, they just become attracted to the chanting of the holy name. And you cannot become attracted to the chanting unless you have done all those in your previous lives. And that makes the difference between a devotee and others who are callous, who are indifferent when they see Krishna consciousness. Devotees practice before. So we should respect ourselves. We should respect ourselves and see every opportunity to serve each other. Seize the opportunity to serve other devotees. But devotees are not ordinary people. Get it? 45. Okay, finally, the next verse explains how and when the yogi will achieve his ultimate goal. When and how the yogi will achieve his ultimate goal. Prayatnandiyatamaanastu yogi samsudakil bisa aneka janma samsidas tato yati param gatim. And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being worse of all contaminations, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal.
Purport.
Carry on.
A person born in a particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family becomes conscious of his favorable condition for executing yoga practice. With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and thus he completely cleanses himself of all material contaminations. When he is finally free from all contaminations, he attains the supreme perfection, Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the perfect stage of being freed from all contaminations. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 28. Hare Krishna.
No, it's not. Okay, that's where you stop. Yesam tu antagata papam jananam punya karmana te dvamva moha nirmuta bhajante mam dridavrataha. After many, many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed of all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one becomes engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So that is it. That when the yogi, to become successful, or a yoga brahmana, or a yogi who has fallen from his practice, must work harder than yogis who have practiced longer. Yes, in other words, those who fall from their practice, for them to become successful, those who have fallen from their practice before, they should practice harder than those who practice for a long time. Why? Because rigid practice or prayarnat is more difficult to achieve from a Susinam birth in a pious religious family, or a Srimatan birth in a rich mercantile or royal family, down from a birth in a Yoginam Dhimatam family, a family of transcendentalists possessing great wisdom. The children born in families of transcendentalists, they receive especially deep Krishna consciousness impressions and training early in their spiritual life. So those who fall after a short time of practice, Those who fall after a short time of practice, they must practice with more determination. They must practice for longer time. Because there are those who come in contact with this movement in a very short time, they make very rapid advancement, very, very rapid advancement, even more than everyone else that they come to meet. Whereas there are those who just come, they just come for a short time before you realize everything is just clicking for them. Quack, 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 quack. They become spiritual master. You see, the difference is that in their previous life, they have practiced for a longer time. So those who practice for a short time and left and went to the heavenly planets, come down to it, they must practice more rigidly now. That is the reason. You see? And they say when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further progress, being worthy of all contamination, then ultimately achieving perfection after many, many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal. This is more for the person who fell after a short time of practice. If you are fallen after a short time of practice and you come in contact with Krishna consciousness now, you must practice more rigidly, more steadily for a longer time than the person who practiced for a long time before he fell and is born into the family of transcendentalists directly. No, right from their birth, even while they are in the womb, they are getting the blessing. They are drinking milk from the mother connected to a very powerful transcendentalist. So right from their birth, they have opportunity to do devotional service. They drink the water of devotional service. They bath the water of devotional service. They hear the sound of devotional service right from birth. So their situation is more higher than those of us who are who practice for a short time, when the planet come and take place on very dangerous locations and suffer seriously at the beginning before we come in contact with ourselves. So those of us who come after us, we must practice more rigidly. And we should not compare ourselves to people like Prabhupada, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and the rest. See, that's why it says to become a yoga brahmana, a yogi who has fallen from his practice must work harder than yogis who have practiced longer. Why? Because rigid practice is more difficult to achieve from a Susinam birth in a pious religious family. They must practice for longer time before they can attain the same place that those who are born into transcendentalist family will attain. That's why those born into the transcendentalist families are actually higher. They are higher because in their previous life they practiced for a long time. Understand? And those who are born into mercantile family, so also they practice a short time in their previous life, they fell. After going to heaven, they have come back. So their practice must be longer. You cannot compare them to children born in a family of transcendentalists who receive a deep Krishna consciousness right from birth. So this is the difference. So all glories to those who are born into those families. That means even among devotees, if we are attentive, we know those who practice for a long time in their previous life, the kind of families they are born into. You know, we saw that they practice for a long time in their previous life. And those who practice for a short time, by the kind of families we are born into in this lifetime, we know in our previous lives. That means nobody should judge you. You should know. You are born into Krishna. You are not born into Krishna consciousness. You were born. Your parents are not even devotees. Even when you want to start devotional service, some are disturbing you. Your parents don't want you to be devotees. You have to break loose. But these other persons, their parents are devotees. So right from childhood, they are hearing taking samsara dava nana lila doka tranaya karuya gana gana twam. They are hearing this even while in the womb. Pratasya Kalyana Gunanabasya Vande Guru Sri Sharanavindam. Then for you, after 30-something years, before you come to hear Samsara Dava Nalalida Loka. Some after 40 years, after 50 years, before you come and hear thinking bell. You see? By the mercy of devotees. So there's a difference, heaven and hell difference between those who practice for a short time before they fall and those who practice for a long time before they change their body without attaining perfection. Okay, verse 46. Verse 46. Tapaswibyo diko yogi Dhyanibyo api mato dika Kamimbias chaudiko yogi Tasman yogi Baba Arjuna. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. Somebody should read the purpose.
Purpose. When we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of the particular method adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called karma yoga. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called jnana yoga. And when it is predominantly in devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas. As will be explained in the next verse, the Lord has confirmed herein the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect. And fruitive work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. And this is still more clearly explained in the next verse. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you can get it right. In all circumstances, become a yogi. In all circumstances, become a yogi. Why? Because a yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Okay? It's greater. Why? Because that is the purport. The purport is explaining. Even though there are different kinds of yogas, there are lower yogas, there are medium yogas, there are topmost yogas, still a yogi is greater than an ascetic, is greater than empiricist. Why? Because there is a link. The link, a yogi means one who is trying to, yoga means one who is trying to link up with God. So there is a link with God, like recognizing the superiority of God and wanting to please him and acting in that direction. Such a person who is acting with a link to eternal bliss is a yogi. But of all the yogis, the Bhakti yogi is the highest. All other yogis are good. They are higher than the empiricists, they are higher than the ascetics. But of all yogis, the Bhakti yogi is the best. Become a yogi if you cannot become a Bhakti yogi. It is better you become one of the yogis, either a Karma yogi or a Jnana yogi or Astanga yogi. But Bhakti yogi is the highest. So this verse is a glorification to Bhakti yoga and is a glorification to Bhakti Yogi, the process and the person performing the process. Okay? It's a glorification. All yoga systems are higher than asceticism and empiricism, but for the yogas, Bhakti Yoga is the highest, and for the yogis, the Bhakti Yogi is the highest. But in any case, if you cannot become a Bhakti Yogi, become a Sangha Yogi, become a Jnana Yogi, become a Karma Yogi. Why? Because they are also progressively higher than just being an ascetic or empiricist. Why? Why? Because the yogi, why? Because where is the, okay, 46. Why? Because Krishna said, thus this verse is progressive wrongs on the yoga ladder. Be clearly, no. Which verse did you read now? Is it not 46 we read or 45?
We just read 46 now.
We just read 46. Okay, the purport. Let us read the purport again. That the tapasui was mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Sorry, okay, that's not it. I'm reading something else. Yes, yeah, it is. This is what I'm looking for. That when we speak of yoga, we refer to linking our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. An ascetic might not be thinking that direction, and a empiricist will not be thinking that direction. Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of particular methods adopted. When the linking process is predominantly in fruitive activities, it is called Karma Yoga. You are linking through fruitive activities. You are working, but you are trying to offer some of the result to God. When it is predominantly empirical, it is called Jnana Yoga. You are trying to analytically separate the body from the soul. And in the end, you are not careful, you demonize the body. But the Bhakti Yogi does not demonize the body, he utilizes it. And when it is predominantly in a devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, it is called Bhakti Yoga. It is all yoga, whether in fruitive activities as in Karma Yoga, or in empiric activities as in Jnana Yoga, in devotional activities as in Bhakti Yoga. They are all yogas, but they are progressively higher. Jnana Yoga and empiricism is higher than Karma Yoga, but higher than Jnana Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga or Krishna consciousness is the ultimate perfection of all yogas, as will be explained in the next verse. The Lord has confirmed herein the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and therefore nothing can excel it. Asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Asceticism without self-knowledge is imperfect. Empiric knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect. I mean, if you analytically separate the body, the 24 elements, you study them, and you study how this body is constituted, and you finally realize that the soul is different from the body, that is high. But if the soul is different from the body, what is the relationship with the soul and the Supreme Soul? If that one is not included, then it is imperfect. So empirical philosophical knowledge, analytical knowledge is imperfect when there is no mention of the relationship between the individual soul and the Supreme Soul. It is imperfect. It is high, but it is imperfect. Then knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect. If you have that knowledge and you don't have a relationship with the Supreme, if the individual soul doesn't have a relationship, a servitude relationship with the Supreme, then it is imperfect. Therefore, it is activity in Krishna consciousness that is perfection. Activities dovetail to pleasing God, that is called perfection. Everything less is on the path of perfection. And fruitive work without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. Therefore, the most highly praised form of yoga performance, mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. And this is still more clearly explained in the next verse. So this is the last verse. Yogina mapisarve sam mangate nanta atmana Stradavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamu matara. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
Purport.
So, purport.
The word
Purport.
bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there is need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can avoid worshiping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. Failing to do so, he falls down. The Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, 5 and 3, confirms
The Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam.
confirm this as follows. Ya Esam Purusam Sakshad Atma Prabhavan Isvaram Na Bhajanti Advajananti Stanad Brasta Patati Ada. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, with a certainty fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse also, the word Bhajanti is used. Therefore, Bhajanti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to demigods or to any other common living entity. The word Advajanti used in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in the Bhagavad Gita, Avajanti, Mam Muda. Avajananti, Mam Muda. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word Bhajananti and the word worship. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are but means to come to the point of Bhakti in Bhakti Yoga. Yoga actually means Bhakti Yoga. All other yogas are progressions towards the destination of Bhakti Yoga. From the beginning of Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma Yoga without fruitive result is the beginning of this path. When Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called Jnana Yoga. When Jnana Yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called Astanga Yoga. And when one surpasses Astanga Yoga and comes to the point of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, it is called Bhakti Yoga. The culmination, factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal, but to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. The yogi who is progressively is therefore on the true path of eternal good of fortune. One who seeks to a particular point and does not to make further progress is called by that particular name, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Dhyana Yoga, Yogi, Raja Yogi, Hatha Yogi, etc. If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti Yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga. Just as when one speaks of Himalayan, we refer to the world's highest mountains, of which the highest peak, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga to become well situated according to the Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called the Shimashundra, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flat garlanded. Illuminating all sides is his gorgeous luster, which is called the Brahma Jyoti. He incarnates in different forms, such as Rama, Nishrimga, Varaya, and Krishna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he descends like a human being as the son of Mother Yeshoda, and he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is a perfect child, husband, friend, and master, and he is full with all opulences and transcendental qualities. If one remains fully conscious of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest yogi. This stage of highest perfection in yoga can be attained only by the Bhakti Yoga, as is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Yeshya Deva Para Bhaktya, Yata Deva Data Gorao, Tasyate Katita Hayata, Praksante Mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the Supreme Master are all the important imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Bhakti Asya Bhajanam Tad Ihamutrapadi Narisya Mana Kapanam Etadeva Naiska. Bhakti means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit, either in this life or in the next. Devoid of such inclination, one should fully absorb the mind in the Supreme. That is the purpose of Naiskamya. These are some of the means for performance of Bhakti or Krishna consciousness, the highest perfectional stage of the yoga system. Thus, end the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of Dhyana Yoga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you have seen it. It is very clear. First, how the English word is not a proper synonym to bhajate is explained here in the first paragraph of the purport, that the word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which is used when there is need of service. That the English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore and to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of God. That one can avoid worshiping a respectable man or a demigod and may be called discontentious or discourteous. But one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. That every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of God, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. Failing to do this, he falls down. So the word bhajata actually goes beyond just worship, but it includes service to the person that is worthy, service or dharma. You can worship somebody who is not constitutionally related to you directly. You can worship a great person. But when we say bhaj, service, that means we are talking about the inherent nature of the soul. It is service. The inherent nature of the soul is service, just as the inherent nature of salt is saltiness. So this is something that cannot be separated from the living entity. The inherent nature of sugar is sweetness. You cannot separate sweetness from sugar. You cannot separate saltiness from salt. Once it is separated, it is not salt again. It is not sugar again. So similarly, the inherent nature of the soul that cannot be separated from him is service to Krishna. And that is where the word bhajate is different from the word worship. So the only worshipable object is actually Krishna. That is why when the eternal living entity try to come below serving Krishna, which is inherent nature, then he is said to be in Maya. Because you cannot separate sweetness from sugar. You cannot separate that service from the eternal living entity. So let's understand this clearly. Your constitutional position is service to God. And to function on that platform, you say bhajate. That is the first point. Then the second point is that from the beginning of Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way to self-realization. That Karma Yoga without fruitive results is the beginning of the path. That means the yoga ladder is described here. Karma Yoga without fruitive results is the beginning of the path. That is Niskama Karma Yoga is the beginning of the path. But when Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called Jnana Yoga. When Karma Yoga advances, when you constantly acting on the platform of working without attachment to the fruit, that work itself, it churns out, it churns out knowledge from within the heart. And that knowledge from within the heart will now make you to enable you to have a direct perception of the soul. So at that point, it becomes Jnana Yoga. Karma Yoga plus realized knowledge of your real identity becomes Jnana Yoga. Then when Jnana Yoga increases in meditation on the super soul by different physical processes and the mind on him, it is called Astanga Yoga. So when Jnana Yoga, when meditation, constant meditation is added to Jnana Yoga, it becomes Astanga Yoga. Okay? Then, and when one surpasses the Astanga Yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Personality of God, it is called Bhakti Yoga. So when devotion is added to meditation, it becomes Bhakti Yoga. That means detachment from fruits plus realized knowledge plus meditation plus devotion equals Bhakti. Detachment, working with detachment from the fruits plus realized knowledge of the self plus constant remembrance or meditation of the Lord plus devotion equals bhakti. Progressively, each stage is higher than the previous one. That means Niskama Kama Yoga is higher than Sakama Kama Yoga. Higher than Niskama Kama Yoga is Jnana Yoga. And higher than Jnana Yoga is Astanga Yoga. And higher than Astanga Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. But inside Bhakti Yoga, all the other yogas are automatically included. Because Bhakti Yoga is the superset, while all other yogas are subsets. So in the superset, the subset is automatically included. So if one does perform Bhakti Yoga, he is performing all the other yogas on one platform. So all the other yogas are different platform on the same path, different platform on the same path. The ultimate platform is Bhakti Yoga platform. That is what is clarified here. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is the highest. So they say factually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. Okay? The yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. You see, but when you are on this path, when you get to a particular point and you are stuck there, and you take that point as the ultimate goal, then you are called by that name. If you are doing Kama Yoga and you think that Kama Yoga is the ultimate goal of life, you are called a Kama Yogi. And when you reach the Astanga Yoga stage and you think Astanga Yoga to be the ultimate goal of life, you are called an Astanga Yogi or Jnana Yogi first. Then when you are doing Astanga Yoga, you call Astanga Yoga the ultimate goal, and you end up there without any understanding about Bhakti. Then you are called an Astanga Yogi. But when you are on the platform of Bhakti, automatically you have arrived on the topmost platform. So all the other yogas are included. That is what the Prabhupada explained this. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called by that particular name. The Kama Yogi, Jnana Yogi, or Dhyana Yogi, or Raja Yogi, or Hatha Yogi, etc. That if one is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti Yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yogas. Therefore, to become Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga. Just as when we speak of the Himalayas, we refer to the world's highest mountain, of which the highest peaks, Mount Everest, is considered to be the culmination. So the top of all the ladder is Bhakti Yoga, and that is the Mount Everest. Is the peak of the Himalayan mountain. It's called Mount Everest. You see, so that is it. So Bhakti Yoga is the topmost, and once you are there, you should just you need to just do it with all your heart consistently, and you don't need to practice any other yoga, because all the other yogas are automatically included in the Bhakti Yoga process. So this is a point I wanted us to take note of. There are some questions or commentaries. Therefore, the conclusion is that of all yoga systems, Bhakti Yoga is the highest. Of all yoga practitioners, the Bhakti Yogi is the highest. That's why Yoginam Apis Arvisam Mad Gate Natarat Manam Tradavam Bhajate Yugumam Same Yukta Tamo Pata. That and for the yogis, one who is with great faith and always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So this particular verse is a glorification of Bhakti Yoga over all other yogas, and therefore the glorification of Bhakti Yogi over all other yogis. So that is it. All glories to Bhakti Yoga ki Jai. All glories to Bhakti Yoga ki Jai. All
Jai.
glories to Yogi ki Jai.
Ki Jai.
Jai. Become a Bhakti yogi in all circumstances. Remain a Bhakti yogi in all circumstances, unconditionally. Don't ever think that Ashtanga yoga is better than Bhakti yoga. So as a devotee, you are going back to practice meditation, sitting in one place, closing your eyes halfway, and you are just wasting. You don't know the value of Bhakti yoga. That is why. You don't know the value of mopping the temple room. That is why. If you know the value of engaging the senses in taking prasadam, you will not leave prasad to go and begin to say you are sitting down breathing air. You will not eat, you are breathing air. That means you don't know the value of Bhakti yoga, or you don't know the value of prasad. Bhakti yoga is the only process whereby the senses are engaged. In all other yoga systems, you are told to negate the senses. Therefore, in all other yoga systems, the body is demonized. The body is the cause of all problems, and the senses of the body are the cause of all problems. So give up the source of all the problems, no? Just give up bodily demands, and that's all. But we say in Bhakti yoga, the body is a bad bargain. That with it, you can go down to hell, and with the same body, you can go to the spiritual world. How? By engagement in transcendental devotional activities. You can engage the senses in Bhakti yoga. You can use your mouth to eat Krishna prasadam and make advancements in spiritual life. You can use your eyes to see the deities instead of closing them. You can use your eyes to see the deities and to see devotees and to read the scriptures, and you are making advancement. You can use your nose to smell the flower that is offered to the Lord rather than trying to close the smelling capacity. Try to block it, not smelling anything, because if you smell something, you will fall down. No. See, you can use your legs to dance for Krishna rather than folding them and sitting them in one place trying to kill the legs. You don't demonize the body. Rather, we utilize the body. We don't demonize the senses in Krishna consciousness. Rather, we utilize them. So we are utilitarians. A Bhakta is a utilitarian. Yes, he does not demonize the body. The body is not the source of his problem. He learns how to engage the body in devotional service. He washes the clothes of the Lord, iron them very nicely, and give them to Prabhupada. And there is making advancement. He does not demonize, but also he does not romanticize. He does not romanticize means he does not go after gratifying the senses of the body. A devotee does not romanticize the body. He does not demonize the body. Rather, he utilizes the body. A devotee is a utilitarian, ultimate utilitarian. He does not gratify the tongue with boga, long bread with kose inside. You tear the bread and put kose inside. Go and buy it on the roadside. Tear the bread, put kose inside and squeeze it so that the oil will enter the bread. Then he starts chopping it like this. A devotee does not do that. He does not do that. Rather, he cook prasadam. He wait for them to cook prasadam in the Lordship kitchen, offer it. After offering it, everybody sit down. They say Sarira Vijayajai prayer. Then they share it, and he honors his prasadam. The propensity to eat is there. The capability to eat is utilized in the service of the Lord. He does not Nicodemously or independently go and buy akara and kamo, kose and kosuo and kose and kosu or bobotu. Then he goes secretly, unseen by anyone. He enters the ashram. He locks the door and he puts it inside the plate and quickly rush it. Everybody doesn't do those things. Stop doing them if you have done them before. And if you see anybody trying to do it, stop the person. You should wait for prasad. You should wait for prasad and be satisfied with the prasad, okay? The prasad is gone to the altar and it's coming out. It's the Lord's mercy. This is how a devotee utilizes the senses. He does not demonize, he does not romanticize. But if you go, you are romanticizing the senses. Understand? So you don't romanticize, you don't demonize, but you utilize. That is a devotee. That is a Bhakti yogi. And that's why we are Bhakti Yoga is higher than all other yogas. So you go and artificially trying to lock the senses. You don't want to engage. If even your genital can be used in Krishna consciousness, in Bhakti Yoga, to producing Krishna conscious children. Eh? Even your genitals can be utilized in producing Krishna conscious children. Follow the process. Yes. And your ears can be utilized in hearing Bhagavatam. And your mouth can be utilized in preaching the glories of Krishna, telling people about the appearance, about the pastimes of Krishna, about the various forms of Krishna, and how the material world is going on. You can use your mouth for that. Not that you keep your mouth as if you don't want to speak anything. No, you utilize. Devotees are utilitarians. You can use your body in offering obeisances to the Lord rather than using it to embrace the women. Eh? You don't embrace women who are not your wives, but you can use your body to embrace a devotee of the Lord. Eh? And use it to offer obeisances, and use it to go to the market and cook for the Lord. Okay, on this note, we thank you very much. Here ends the unit. We are going to, the next unit is from chapter 7 to 12, and another teacher will come for it. We are making arrangement to see if His Grace Vrajabasi Prabhu will be available. Otherwise, His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Maharaj will take the next unit. As we told you before, the Bhagavad Gita is like a golden book. It's a golden book that the first 6 chapters are the topmost cover, the upper cover is the first 6 chapters, which we have just done. Then the last 6 chapters are the undercover. Then the middle 6 chapters are the real content. When something is very important, like a king procession, you see a dancing party, singing and dancing party in front, another singing and dancing party at the back. Even on the theatre, we do it. But in the middle, the king himself is there. The king of knowledge is in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. So the first 6 chapters are decorating the middle. The last 6 chapters, they are all covering, protecting the middle. So the middle 6 chapters, these are the cream of Bhagavad Gita. And those middle 6 chapters, they are dealing with Bhakti Yoga. The first 6 chapters are dealing with Karma Yoga. The last 6 chapters are dealing with Jnana Yoga. And the middle 6 chapters are dealing with Bhakti Yoga. That's why Bhakti Yoga is the cream. And we say Karma Yoga is meaningless without a tinge of Bhakti. And at the same time, Jnana Yoga is also meaningless without a tinge of Bhakti. So Bhakti is the king of all the knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita, and is carefully preserved in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. So if we are fortunate enough to have His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Maharaj take the middle 6 chapters, you will see the nectar. There is nectar, the real nectar is preserved in the middle 6 chapters. And if we are fortunate enough to have His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Maharaj handle these 6 chapters, you will see the nectar and you will drink it. And when you drink it, you will no more be the same person again. You see? But if we are not fortunate enough to have His Holiness Bhakti Damodara Maharaj, and we are fortunate to have His Grace Vrajabasi Prabhu, is also another nectar. It will churn out the nectar and you'll be shocked what is contained in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So stay tuned. But before then, by next weekend, we are going to write exams for this chapter, for this unit. Next weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, we will announce so that we can write the exams there. Then the other weekend, we start with chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita. So go and read ahead. Thank you very much. go and enjoy Adwaita Acharya. Adwaita Acharya's appearance is today. And it is actually by the mercy of Adwaita Acharya that Lord Chaitanya Prabhu came. So there is a celebration, generally fasting till noon today. Then there will be feast for Adwaita Acharya. There will be lecture on Adwaita Acharya. There will be feast also. So take advantage. And this today's Bhagavad Gita class is just a preliminary preparation for the nectar of the day, appearance day celebration of Adwaita Acharya Prabhu Ki Jai. So thank you very much. Once again. Co-founder Acharya Sila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
His Grace Chaitanya Prema Prabhu Ki.
Sila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sila Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. So see you next weekend.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your lectures. I do enjoy your lectures very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We appreciate your consistency, Dr. Elvis. And also Isana Goranga is trying. And by the mercy of Isana Goranga, Anantajit is coming up. Anantajit is just coming up by the mercy of Isana. Anantajit is very stubborn by nature, but he's a very good devotee also. But he's coming up by the mercy of Isana Goranga Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
And I think when the next teacher comes, definitely it will be more consistent. But we want to thank His Grace Purushottama Yatra Prabhu for he's the most consistent among all the students. His Grace Purushottama Yatra Prabhu. Then Onyeka God Jehovah is also trying. Prana Priya Mataji is also trying. He's the best among all the mothers. All the others have dropped out. And she's the only representative of the mothers. And she's very active also in the temple. She serves Maharaj personally, taking care of so many things, cooking in the day. Still, she participates in this program. So we want to appreciate her a lot. And of course, we cannot go without talking about his great Balabhadra Baba. Balabhadra Prabhu actually is actually very joyful to see him in class. Anytime I see him, I'm happy. Anytime I see Balabhadra in class, I'm happy because he's a very joyful, practical devotee. Understand? It's a practical and dramatic devotee of the Lord. And his presence used to inspire me a lot. And I'm happy that he's also one of the people who on his videos. Sometimes he doesn't on because he's on the road, but most of the time he owns his video. Please, the next person coming, don't register bad record there. Always on your videos. Always come on time. For me, no problem. I'm just the simplest person, a friend of all devotees, but some of the gurus are very, very sensitive to the attitude of the devotees. Okay? So don't carry this attitude you showed me at the beginning to the next teacher. Okay? You might create a bad record for yourself and we take notice of you. So behave like Purushottama Yatra Prabhu in terms of consistency. Okay? Then, of course, we cannot go without talking about His Grace Raghupati Prabhu. Raghupati Prabhu is the youngest devotee here in terms of the physical body. But you can see that he has a big mind, big intelligence. So he's among us. It's not by accident. It's not by accident. So we appreciate him a lot. And we need to encourage him. If all our children can become serious, we have hope for the future. Okay? So His Grace Raghupati Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai. Hare Krishna, see you on Sunday. But meanwhile, enjoy your Adwaita Acharya Prabhu celebration. Jai. Co-founder Acharya Sila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Sila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai. Dr. Elvis. Yes, consistent. Port Harcourt, yes. Dr. Elvis is actually very, very consistent also. Like Onyeka Jehovah God. Sometimes they are on the road, but they will still participate in the program. That's why you don't see their videos on. They are on the road traveling, but they still participate. So there is a sign of determination. And Krishna recognizes that, and you remain blessed for that. Thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah. We can also go without acknowledging our able and noble facilitator, His Grace Chaitanya Prema Prabhu. All glories to you.
Hare Krishna. Jai
Hare
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada.
Jai.
Thank you very much.
Dandava
Thank you very
Pranam.
much. Thank you very much.